I'm going to try to explain the thought process I had in designing a greener home with a much lower carbon footprint than what is currently available. We started with a southern exposure and a large wedge-shaped roof. Intentions of using storage containers, shipping containers, to do this, so it'd be the greenest possible. Starting at a three level basis with a concrete basement, bringing up a geothermal wall somewhere in the middle to leave a dead space. Utilize the geothermal airspace heat transfer to try to maintain a regular temperature. Seeing as how mostly calculating my insulation savings and my costs for heating and ownership, the closer I can come to a stable temperature that I'm always working with the core of the earth being right around the 50 to 55 degrees. If I can use that through radiant heating on the different levels and a geothermal wall, a southern exposure, I kind of intended on using a polycarbonate as a roof, as an area, to try to leave an open almost foyer living area. And further diagrams, we'll see more of that. Something I kind of sketched out the two floors, being the top floor with two bedrooms, each with their own bathroom, storage units, closets, their own private decks. I just kind of got crazy with the drawings. This was a total floor layout, being this floor being 2 storage containers high, this one being 1 storage container high, and then a fourth one split in half to join that, which would make a large central atrium area that I plan on using as staircases up onto the second floor, third floor if you're counting the basement. I put a lot of thought into how to best utilize the space and break it off, and also make it interesting to be appealing to me as a whole. This is more of a drawing to show where the geothermal wall would go down. It'd probably double as a fireplace, which would also provide a biomass heating source. Things I got distracted with while going through this were earthship designs, things that really utilize. So then I started thinking about how to best lay out my solar design on the roof and still be able to gather gray water, which I had at different times looked at ways to raise it higher and possibly use a thermal or a hydroelectric, which requires a significant drop, and I had played with that a lot and I got distracted a lot with that. Fresnel lenses would be something else that would be used to possibly heat water. Just going through the wind and wind, solar, and hydroelectric generation, I just kind of got overwhelmed. I started looking at other things. Thermoelectric, which is the same basic principle, the thermocouplers we use on our gas appliances. It generates a signal to signify a flame sensor. Well, there's other technologies that are using it to generate electricity now, and I really, just with some very careful planning and figuring on the plumbing design, it starts to get kind of elaborate, and it really, for someone like me, it really does I kind of get lost in it, and I start trying to, well, if you can do this, you can do that, and then you can do that, and it really, I find myself overcomplicating it. And with the solar and water collection, I started really kind of playing with the roof design to the point where I actually had to make a 3D model of what I was thinking, just to see it in concept of how it would lay out in a rough term. This is probably right around 1/40th. I figured about 11 inches versus the containers that would be 40. I plan this to be southern facing, possibly polycarbonate in the middle to give me natural light off the sun. The technology with the polycarbonate and the dual layers and thicknesses, really modern greenhouses are using them, and they're finding it a lot more energy efficient than the glass had ever been. Of course, I'd want this to sit on a foundation of a basement below it. This would be my north facing wall, which would almost be, ideally I'd build it into a hill so that I could utilize as much geothermal effect from this wall being into the hill. So possibly try to find a site location where I could build it to where only about that much would be exposed. And the downgrade on there. The roof, I know the corrugation doesn't give me optimal for all my solar, but it does make rain collection a lot more uniform. And in the summer, it would potentially, if I designed it with a venting system on the ridges, it could provide me with some natural heat escape to regulate my temperature in the summer. I tried to explain all my thoughts on this video. It was too much for me to possibly write and still make sense out of it. I think it works a lot better with visual displays. Thanks for your time.